We don't drive backwards. I have regrets, real ones. Decisions I wish I handled differently. Moments that I replay longer than I should. People I hurt, people who hurt me. Versions of myself I barely recognize now. And for a long time I thought healing meant figuring out how to erase those things, how to outgrow them, rewrite them, and maybe even outrun them. But somewhere along this road, I realized something uncomfortable. If I changed every painful decision, every wrong turn, every heartbreak, every mistake, I might not end up here. And despite everything, I'm grateful for here. I think a lot of us secretly believe that life is supposed to make sense while we're living it. Like there's a correct map, a right sequence, a version if we had just made better decisions, everything turns out clean, stable, predictable. But that's not been my experience. Life has felt far more like back roads than highways. Unexpected turns, detours, breakdowns, and moments of getting completely lost. And sometimes the roads I fought the hardest against ended up teaching me the most. Not because pain is beautiful, not because suffering is noble, but struggle has a way of revealing what comfort hides. There are things I would absolutely do differently, conversations I wish I handled with more patience, moments where fear made my decisions instead of courage. Times I worked too much, times I emotionally disappeared, times I isolated instead of asking for help. And there were seasons where I carried disappointment so heavily, I stopped recognizing myself, especially as a parent. And that one stays tender. Because when you love deeply, you also regret deeply. But age and maybe the road too has taught me something. Regret can either become a prison or a teacher. And those are very different lives. The road has a strange way of reflecting your life back at you. You notice it when you're driving long enough. Miles give your thoughts room to breathe. And somewhere between mountain passes, gas stations, campfires, and long stretches of silence, you start seeing your life differently. Not with less honesty, just with less punishment. Perspective softens things too. Not excuses, not denial, perspective. I've realized that most people are simply trying to survive things they don't fully understand yet, including me. VanGo taught me this too. Nothing about this build was perfect. Nothing was square. Plans changed constantly. Mistakes happened. Things had to be redone. Some days felt like progress. Other days felt like staring at my own limitations. But slowly, through frustration, adjustment, and patience, something meaningful got built anyway. Maybe people are like that too. Maybe we become ourselves the same way Van Gogh became Van Gogh, through imperfections that eventually turned into character, through weathering, through repair, through continuing. There's a version of me years ago that wouldn't even recognize this life, waking up beside mountains, cooking outside, watching Tator sprint through places I once only dreamed about visiting, finding peace and simplicity. That version of me thought happiness lived somewhere out there, some future destination. But I think peace is smaller than that, quieter too. Sometimes peace is just finally forgiving yourself for being human and continuing anyway. I don't believe every painful thing happens for a reason. Some things are just painful. Some losses stay losses. Some regrets never fully disappear. But I do believe we can choose what we become because of those experiences. Bitter, closed off, stuck, or softer, wiser, more compassionate, more honest. The road didn't erase my regrets, but it helped me stop seeing myself only through them. And that changed everything. Some of the roads I wish I never traveled still brought me somewhere worth arriving. Here, this life, this version of me. Not perfect, not finished, not free from mistakes. Just me, but differently.